If you're over 60, 70, or even 80, and walking is the main way you stay active, I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because there's something important that almost nobody tells you about walking. Let me say this clearly right at the start, so there's no confusion. Walking is good for you. It's one of the simplest, safest, most sustainable habits you can keep as you get older. It gets you out of the house. It supports your heart and your circulation. It clears your head. This video is not telling you to stop walking. But there's a problem that a lot of people don't realize until it starts showing up in small, frustrating ways. You can walk almost every single day, rain or shine, 30 minutes, sometimes more, and still find yourself struggling to get up from a low chair. Stairs take more effort than they used to. Carrying the groceries in from the car leaves your arms and legs feeling tired in a way they didn't before. You reach for the railing, or the countertop, or the arm of the sofa, almost without thinking about it, just to steady yourself. If any of that sounds familiar, I want you to know, it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's not because you're not walking enough, or not walking fast enough, or not walking far enough. It's because walking, on its own, was never designed to do the one thing your body needs most as you get older. And today, I'm going to explain exactly what that is, why walking can't provide it, and show you a simple movement, something you already do every single day without realizing it, that can fill that gap. No gym membership, no equipment, just a sturdy chair and a few minutes of your time. Before we go further, tell me in the comments, how old are you, and what part of the world are you watching from today? I love seeing how far this community reaches, and it genuinely means a lot to see where everyone's tuning in from. And if you're over 60 and looking for simple, practical ways to stay strong, mobile, and independent, go ahead and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. For a long time, the advice given to older adults was simple: walk every day, get your steps in. Try to hit a certain number, a certain distance. Keep moving, and your body will stay strong. And walking really does keep you moving. But here's the part that confuses a lot of people. You can be walking consistently, day after day, and still feel your strength slipping away underneath you. How is that possible? The answer has almost nothing to do with how many steps you take, and everything to do with what kind of demand you're placing on your muscles. Your body is remarkably good at adapting to exactly what you ask of it. If you ask it to walk, it becomes efficient at walking. That's wonderful for your endurance and your cardiovascular system. But walking, especially a familiar walk along a familiar route, doesn't ask very much of your muscles in terms of raw strength. Your body has already figured out how to do it with minimal effort. That's literally what efficiency means. And when your muscles aren't being challenged beyond what they're used to, they have very little reason to get stronger. Think about it this way. Imagine two people, both of whom walk for 30 minutes every single morning without fail. From a distance, they look equally active, equally healthy. But look closer. One of them can stand up from a dining chair without using their hands at all. Smooth, controlled, no hesitation. The other has to lean forward, push hard against the armrests, and pause for a second before taking that first step. Both are walking every day. But their functional strength, the strength that actually matters in daily life, is completely different. This is the gap that walking leaves behind. And it has a name: age-related muscle loss, often called sarcopenia. It's a natural part of aging, but it isn't inevitable in the way many people assume, and it isn't something you're powerless against. Here's what makes it tricky. This loss happens quietly. You don't wake up one day and notice that a large chunk of your strength has disappeared overnight. Instead, it shows up in small moments that are easy to dismiss individually. You start using both hands to push yourself up out of a chair. You avoid the stairs when there's an elevator nearby. You carry the grocery bags one at a time instead of two, just to make it easier. Getting out of the car takes a little more effort than it used to. After sitting for a while, your first few steps don't feel quite as steady. On their own, none of these seem like a big deal. But put them together, and they tell a clear story. Your body is quietly losing strength that it used to have automatically, strength you never had to think about before. And this is exactly why walking every day doesn't fully solve the problem. Walking is still incredibly valuable. It supports your heart, your lungs, your circulation, and it keeps you active instead of sedentary. But walking and strength training ask completely different things of your body. Walking builds endurance. It does very little to build the kind of force your muscles need to produce when you stand up quickly, catch yourself from a stumble, or push yourself up off a low surface. Here's something worth sitting with for a moment. Functional strength, the ability to rise from a chair, climb a step, catch your balance, carry something heavy across a room, is what determines whether you can respond confidently when life asks something unexpected of you. A curb that's a little higher than you expected, a soft, low sofa you need to get up from, a moment where your foot catches and you have to stabilize yourself quickly, needing to carry something across the house while keeping your balance. In every one of these situations, step count means absolutely nothing. What matters is whether your legs, hips, and core have enough strength and coordination to respond in that moment. This is why leg strength in particular becomes so important as we age. Strong legs let you rise from a chair without needing your hands. Strong hips help stabilize you as you move through space. A strong core helps control your trunk so you don't feel wobbly or unsteady. And good balance gives you the confidence to change direction, step onto uneven ground, or move through an unfamiliar place without hesitation. When these abilities start to decline, something quieter and more concerning tends to happen. People begin reshaping their lives around their weakness, often without even realizing they're doing it. They start avoiding certain staircases. They choose the chair with armrests instead of the softer one, because standing up from it has become genuinely difficult. They shorten their walking distance. They hesitate to go somewhere alone, because they're not sure they'll be able to physically manage it. Little by little, the issue stops being just weak muscles and starts becoming something bigger. It starts to quietly limit freedom. And that's really the heart of what we're talking about today. The goal after 60 isn't simply to keep moving for the sake of moving. It's to protect the specific strength that allows you to keep living independently, on your own terms. The encouraging part is this: none of this requires you to become a bodybuilder, or start lifting heavy weights at a gym, or radically change your life. Your muscles don't care whether resistance comes from an expensive machine or something far simpler. They respond to being challenged appropriately and consistently. That's really the whole secret. And one of the most useful strength-building movements for everyday life turns out to be something you already do, over and over, every single day, without ever thinking of it as exercise. Every single time you get out of a chair, your legs and hips have to generate enough force to lift a large portion of your body weight against gravity. And every time you sit back down under control, those same muscles have to work in the opposite direction, resisting gravity so you don't simply drop into the seat. Turn that completely ordinary, completely automatic movement into something deliberate. Slow it down, do it with intention and control, and suddenly, something you've done thousands upon thousands of times in your life becomes one of the most practical strength-building exercises available to you. That movement is the chair squat. A chair squat is exactly what it sounds like: standing up from a seated position and sitting back down again, but doing it slowly, deliberately, and with enough control that your muscles, not momentum, are doing the work. It sounds almost too simple to count as real exercise. But stop and think about everything your body actually has to accomplish in that one motion. Your thighs have to straighten your knees. Your hips and glutes have to generate enough force to lift your entire upper body weight upward. Your core has to stabilize your trunk so you don't collapse forward or sway to one side. And your ankles and feet are constantly making tiny adjustments to keep you balanced as your center of gravity shifts from the chair to your feet. In that one ordinary movement, several of the most important muscle groups in your entire body are working together, in coordination, exactly the way they need to for everyday life. And here's what makes this especially useful. Unlike an exercise that trains a movement pattern you rarely use outside of a workout, the chair squat directly practices something you genuinely need dozens of times throughout a normal day. You use this exact pattern getting out of bed in the morning. You use it rising from the toilet, getting out of the car, standing up after dinner, or getting up from the sofa to answer the door. A very similar combination of leg and hip strength helps you climb stairs, step onto a curb, or recover your balance after an unexpected stumble. That's what makes the chair squat so valuable after 60. You're not exercising just for the sake of exercising. You're strengthening the exact movement pattern that keeps you capable in real, everyday life. Now let me walk you through exactly how to do this, carefully and safely. Step 1. Choose your chair. Pick something sturdy that won't slide or roll out from under you. Avoid anything with wheels. If it's available, placing the chair against a wall adds a helpful extra layer of security, especially when you're just starting out. Step 2. Get into position. Sit toward the front portion of the seat, rather than leaning all the way back into the chair. Place both feet flat on the floor, roughly shoulder-width apart, positioned in a way that feels stable, not like you're balancing on your toes. Keep your chest comfortably tall, relax your shoulders, and look straight ahead rather than down at the floor. Step 3. The stand. Gently lean your upper body forward from the hips. This doesn't mean rounding your back or collapsing your chest forward. Think of it as simply bringing your chest slightly forward so your body weight starts shifting over your feet. Then press firmly through your feet and stand. Don't throw your body forward to build momentum. Don't bounce off the chair. Don't rush the movement. Let your legs do the actual work. Once you're standing, come to a comfortable, upright position. You don't need to force your knees backward or exaggerate anything. Simply stand tall and steady for a moment. Step 4. And this is the part most people overlook. The sit. Sitting down matters just as much as standing up, maybe even more. Instead of dropping quickly into the chair, push your hips slightly backward, bend your knees, and lower yourself slowly, keeping the movement controlled the entire way down, until you gently make contact with the seat. That slow, controlled lowering is what forces your muscles to keep working, rather than letting gravity do all the work for you at the last second. Then simply repeat. If you're able to stand without using your hands at all, that's excellent. You can keep your hands in front of you, or cross them comfortably over your chest. But if you're not there yet, please don't turn this into a test of pride. Use support. Rest your hands lightly on the armrests, or if it works for your setup, use your hands on your thighs to assist yourself. As your legs get stronger over time, you'll likely find yourself relying on your hands less and less. How many should you do? If you've been inactive for a while, 3 to 5 careful, controlled repetitions may be plenty to start. Someone else might comfortably manage 5, 10, or even 15. There is no prize for matching anyone else's number, and I really want to emphasize that. Especially in the beginning, pay far more attention to the quality of the movement than the quantity. Can you stand without rushing? Can you remain steady once you're up? Can you lower yourself without dropping into the seat? Can you finish your repetitions while breathing comfortably and staying in control? Here's where one of the most common mistakes in exercise after 60 tends to show up. People assume that if a small amount of exercise is helpful, then doing a lot more must automatically be even better. So they push too hard, too soon. They do far more repetitions than they're ready for, end up excessively sore or uncomfortable, and then stop for several days to recover. Sometimes they get discouraged by that soreness and abandon the exercise altogether. A much better approach is to start below your maximum and give your body time to genuinely adapt. Consistency matters far more than intensity. 5 controlled repetitions, done regularly, week after week, will do more for you than 20 rushed repetitions, followed by a week of doing nothing at all. Your body changes because of the signal you give it, over and over again. Every time you stand from the chair under control, you're asking your thighs, hips, and glutes to produce real force. Every time you lower yourself slowly, you're asking those same muscles to control your body weight against gravity. And every time you stay balanced throughout the movement, you're giving your nervous system another opportunity to practice coordination and stability. Repeat that signal consistently, and your body will have a clear reason to adapt and get stronger. Now, what if your knees are sensitive? This is exactly where the chair squat becomes especially useful, because the movement is so easy to adjust to your needs. You don't have to start from a low seat. A slightly taller, more stable chair reduces how far you need to lower yourself, which takes real pressure off sensitive knees. You can also use your hands for assistance and work only within a range that feels comfortable and controlled. If standing all the way up and sitting all the way down feels difficult right now, Focus first on practicing just the portion of the movement you can manage safely. The same principle applies if your lower back feels stiff or sensitive. Keep the movement slow, avoid collapsing forward, and maintain a comfortable, controlled posture, rather than forcing yourself into a position that doesn't feel right for your body. Exercise can, and often should, require some effort. Your muscles may genuinely feel like they're working, and a bit of mild fatigue is completely normal. But sharp, sudden, or worsening pain is a different matter entirely. Please don't treat pain as proof that an exercise is working. If a movement hurts, stop and reassess rather than pushing through it. And if you're dealing with significant joint problems, a recent surgery, major balance difficulties, or any medical condition that affects exercise safety, getting individualized guidance from a qualified healthcare professional is genuinely the sensible place to start. Here's something I really love about this particular movement. The progress it creates is easy to notice in real, everyday life, not just on a scale or a fitness tracker. You might begin by needing both hands to stand up. After some consistent practice, maybe you only need one. Eventually, you might catch yourself getting out of your favorite chair without even thinking about your hands at all. Or you might notice that standing up after a meal simply feels easier than it used to. The stairs don't seem quite as demanding. You feel a little steadier when you first get up in the morning. Those improvements might sound small when you say them out loud, but they represent exactly what we're trying to protect. Independence is rarely lost all at once, in one dramatic moment. It tends to erode slowly, one everyday movement at a time. And here's the encouraging flip side of that same truth. Strength can be rebuilt the exact same way, one everyday movement at a time. So please don't worry about performing some impressive, intense workout. You don't need 50 repetitions. You don't need to exhaust yourself. And you certainly don't need to compete with someone 20 years younger than you. Start exactly where you are. If that's 3 repetitions, then 3 good, controlled repetitions is a genuine win. If 5 feels comfortable, begin with 5. If you're already fairly active, and 10 or 15 controlled repetitions feels appropriate for you, that's completely fine too. What actually matters is that you return to the movement consistently and give yourself enough time to see real improvement. You can practice this several times a week, and for some people, a small, comfortable amount fits naturally into a daily routine. The right amount for you depends on your current ability, your recovery, your overall health, and how your body responds. There's no single number that applies to everyone. Once the basic chair squat starts to feel comfortable, the next step isn't necessarily to do more repetitions. In fact, one of the easiest ways to make this exercise more effective is simply to slow it down. The next time you lower yourself toward the chair, try taking about 3 full seconds to sit. 1, 2, 3. Then gently touch the seat and stand back up at a comfortable pace. Instead of letting gravity pull you down into the chair, your thighs, hips, and glutes have to keep working through the entire lowering phase. You're asking your muscles to control your body weight for longer, without adding any dumbbells, machines, or complicated equipment at all. Once that feels manageable, there's another simple progression you can try. As you lower yourself, pause just above the chair for a brief moment before sitting down. You don't need to hold that position for 5 or 10 seconds. Even a short pause can make the movement noticeably more challenging, because your muscles have to keep you stable, right at the point where you might normally relax and let the chair catch you. Then sit down gently. If either of these variations causes you to lose control, creates discomfort, or forces you to hold your breath, simply return to the basic version. There's no shame in that at all. Breathing can help with control here too. A simple, helpful pattern is to gently breathe out as you stand, and breathe in as you lower yourself back down toward the chair. Try to avoid holding your breath through the repetition. You don't need to obsess over perfect timing. The important thing is to keep breathing naturally, and to avoid turning a simple strength exercise into a tense, stressful struggle. Now comes perhaps the most important part of making chair squats genuinely useful: finding a way to actually keep doing them, instead of waiting around until you feel motivated, because motivation alone rarely lasts. The most reliable way to do this is to attach your chair squats to something that already happens in your day, every single day, without fail. Maybe you do a few repetitions before breakfast, Perhaps you practice them right after your morning coffee, before your daily walk, or when you stand up after watching your favorite television program. You could even choose one particular sturdy chair in your home to be your reminder. Whenever you reach that point in your routine, you know it's time for a few slow, controlled repetitions. And remember the principle we've come back to throughout this video. Consistency matters far more than intensity. So, if chair squats are this useful after 60, does that mean you should stop walking and replace your daily walk with this exercise instead? Absolutely not. Walking and chair squats don't need to compete with each other, because they genuinely serve two different purposes. Walking remains one of the simplest forms of physical activity available to older adults. It keeps you moving for an extended period, supports cardiovascular fitness, helps circulation, and gives you a real opportunity to spend time outdoors. And there's another benefit of walking that shouldn't be underestimated. It's genuinely good for your mind. A quiet walk in the morning can help clear your thoughts and start your day on a calmer note. Walking with a spouse, a friend, a neighbor, or a family member creates real social connection. Even a short walk outside can break up long periods of sitting and add a bit of variety into your day. None of that goes away because of anything we've talked about here. The limitation only appears when walking is expected to do everything on its own. Walking gives your body repeated, low-demand movement. Chair squats give your muscles a genuinely different kind of challenge, producing and controlling force against your own body weight. Walking supports your endurance. Chair squats help train the thighs, hips, glutes, and core that let you actually use that endurance effectively in everyday life. Walking helps you keep going. Strength helps you handle the moments when life suddenly asks you to push, rise, stabilize, or catch yourself. Think of it this way. Suppose you enjoy a 20-minute walk every single morning. There's absolutely no reason to give that up. Instead, before you leave the house, you might perform a small number of controlled chair squats. Or you could do them after you get back, once you've had a moment to settle. Your routine could simply become walk regularly for your general activity and cardiovascular fitness, and practice a manageable amount of chair squats regularly for strength and control. That's genuinely it, nothing complicated. As your legs get stronger, standing and climbing may start to feel noticeably easier. Better control around your hips and legs can help you feel more confident during everyday movement. And because you're still walking, you're continuing to build the endurance you need to stay active for the long haul. So if there's one single thing I hope you take away from this video, let it be this. Getting older does not mean you should stop challenging your muscles. It means giving them the kind of challenge that helps you keep doing the things that actually matter to you. Walking is still a wonderful habit. Keep taking those morning walks. Keep enjoying the fresh air, the movement, the time spent outside. But don't rely on walking alone to preserve the strength your everyday life genuinely depends on. Add a few chair squats. Start with 3 if that's what feels manageable today. Start with 5 if you're ready for that. Use your hands for support if you need them, and never compare your starting point to anyone else's. Because the real goal here was never to perform more repetitions or to prove how fit you are. The real goal is to stand up from your favorite chair without needing help, to climb the stairs with genuine confidence, to carry your own groceries, to get out of the car comfortably, to walk through your own home without constantly searching for something to hold on to. The goal is freedom. And sometimes, protecting that freedom begins with something as simple as standing up and sitting back down. So tomorrow morning, when you see that chair, don't think of it only as a place to sit. Think of it as a small, quiet opportunity to remind your body, I still need these muscles. I still want to move. I still want to remain capable. A few minutes today may not seem like much, but repeated week after week, month after month, small habits like this one can become part of a stronger, more active, more independent life. If you've stayed with me all the way to the end, leave the word strong in the comments below. It lets me know you're committed to protecting your strength and independence after 60. And tell me this too. Are you going to add chair squats to your daily routine? If this video helped you today, please subscribe to the channel and share it with someone in your life who still believes that walking is all they need after 60. You might just be giving them one more simple, powerful tool for staying strong and independent for years to come. Keep walking, Keep building strength. Keep showing up for your body. Because after 60, the goal isn't simply to add more years to your life. It's to protect your ability to live those years fully, on your own terms.